Hello everyone and welcome to ETM 501. We officially begin our course tomorrow, so that is Monday. Today is the last day for you to just go in, kind of mess around with the content, make sure that you know your way around the course a little bit so that the technology isn't such an issue. That's one of the reasons why we like to do preview week, so that the technology doesn't become so cumbersome in the first week, and also so that you can kind of get an idea of what is upcoming so you can make a good attempt at getting a workflow going before the actual course starts. So tomorrow we actually begin our course. So if you're looking to start posting, tomorrow would be the day if you've kind of gotten ahead of the game. This first week, I kind of give a lot of leeway on posting and give you just a little bit of extra time. So if you don't get anything posted until Friday of this week, don't worry about it at all. Typically, I look for posts by Wednesday of the first week of a module. But we'll get to that whenever we get to module 2. So by now you've already kind of gone through the setup. I give you assignment examples for all of the deliverables and rubrics for all of the activities that we'll be doing so that you know just kind of what are the basic requirements. So it takes a little bit of the edge off when you're trying to figure out what does something look like the very first time. As we work our way into Module 1, which is the only place we need to be worried about right now, you'll see that you have just a little bit of reading coming up to you. So if you haven't gotten your textbooks yet, please make sure that you get those. We will be looking at the Banaji and Greenwald text a lot. That is our blind spots textbook, where we'll actually be reading through and understanding what are those blind spots, where do biases come from, and how are they developing within us. So every module in the course will be set up similarly, where there'll be some expectations and then some ways to go through. And this very first module, it's a little unique because this is a module you will come back to. Every time we change the module weeks, you will still come back to this first module. In this first module, we have an area called Social Justice Resources. That's right here. And underneath the intro video, which you should watch in the first module, you will see subheadings for ableism, ageism, and then they keep going. Okay? All of these are our isms. These are all barriers that folks encounter whenever they are in education, society, just overall things that could stand in the way of someone being successful. So what we want to start to do is look at what all of these barriers are and try to figure out how do these play out in our world, in our circumstance. Are we a part of one of these groups who is actually encountering the barriers? And what are some of the things that we can do as social justice activists within our classrooms and within our schools and communities to help to bridge over these and to make these less of a barrier for people? So every time we hit a module, you will see there will be a discussion board associated with the isms. So this is where you come right back to module 1, scroll down the page, and you will see social justice resources. In module 1, beyond the discussion boards, you will have one deliverable, and that's your personal narrative. So this is written just a story of you. And what I'm asking is that you use the personal I. This is a personal reflection, so it doesn't have to be written like collegiately. Please feel free to recognize yourself in this writing and talk about yourself. That's what I want. And then remember that you're all bringing this back to what happened to you? How about you growing up? What is your story? And then what does social justice mean to you? Identify any of those struggles or challenges that you've faced or that you have seen, and basically why you're here. That's the kind of significance of the issues to you and what does it mean to you. Okay, so that very first assignment link is right here. Whenever you turn in an assignment, you actually click on the assignment link. So if an assignment is not due in a module, you don't click the link because it won't be available to you. But if you click the link, you will be able to view the rubric, read a little bit more about the assignment. You can write your submission right into Blackboard if you would prefer to do that. I prefer to type it outside of Blackboard and bring it in by attaching the file. So you would just click here, one of these options to attach the file. And then of course, when you get to the bottom of the page, there is a submit button. Please don't forget to hit that submit button. It's kind of under my face and at the end of my screen. Sorry about that. So don't forget to hit that submit button so that it turns in, okay? If you make a mistake on an upload and you, oh my gosh, I wanted to change something or I put the wrong one, just feel free to email it to me. I like kind of the no stress approach to life where we're all in this because we are professionals and we care to learn. We care to know more and we care to explore. So please just know that yes, we need to stay on task and we need to stay on time, but also know that if something comes up, just communicate with me. If you make a mistake somewhere, just communicate with me and I'll be willing to work with you to make our way through that. So as we go through these couple of weeks, I think it's essential that we get to know each other a little better. And I think it's essential that, especially I as the instructor, get to know your school system and things like that. So it's very possible that I'll be posing some extra questions in the announcements, just things to be like, hey, somebody shoot me an email and explain to me how Clayton does this, or hey, in a module discussion, I may ask an extra question like, hey, how does this work in Missouri public school systems? Because I know it's very different than Maryland. And what I appreciate is that every state that I work with, I get to know just a little bit more about how school systems work and how state school systems work, how state boards of ed govern and create policies. And that's always very helpful for when I'm trying to manipulate the course and create it in a way that will make sure that you're getting the most out of it. So I really appreciate that if you'd kind of keep an eye on that. I also think it's essential that in order to get to know you better, we do some optional face-to-face. So we never have face-to-face classes that you have to come to. That's the glory of online learning. That's why we do this. But I do appreciate those times when we can get together and discuss more of the issues. And more importantly than that, to add supplemental information, because there's only so much you can do that's virtual and online. So I will be posting our first in an announcement. I will be posting that out as at one of the dates out as our first time to get together. So after we get that, we'll talk kind of like about what works best for you. And we try to keep those at 45 minutes to an hour, no more than an hour. So I just like to do that so that we can better get to know each other. I can add supplemental information. We can really discuss things and get a little bit deeper. And here we are getting ready to have tough conversations with people. And what a better place to do it than here, where it's safe to practice those conversations, to take them outside. All right, so I just want to thank you so much. I really look forward to working with you. It's going to be a fantastic time, and these 8 weeks, although rigorous, are going to fly by. That just seems to be the way that it always happens whenever we're in these courses. So please think about getting in there for those discussion forums. I am going to put in a discussion forum that's kind of asking you to introduce yourself a little bit. Give me just a teeny tiny bit about where you're teaching and what you're doing right now, so that I can better start to maneuver through these other couple of modules to make them what you need them to be. Thank you very much. Have a good Sunday, and I will see you on the discussion boards tomorrow.